Hi, I'm Grace.
Hi, I'm Pierce.
And this is Adjusting to the Curve.
Yay!
Great.
Heck yeah.
So today we got some good guesses once again. If you guys would like to introduce yourself, Ryan, let you go first. Ladies first.
All right, yeah. I'm Ryan Williams. I'm a current Tri-7 student. I'm in clinic, so come hit me up in
Heck
clinic.
yeah.
You know, I don't know what I thought
Another
your last
clinic.
name was.
Williams.
I could have swore it
All
was
day.
like...
I guess for the last
Something
6
else.
years. For the last 6 years, been Williams.
Okay.
And I am Austin Cruz Riley, Tri-2.
Try
I didn't know
to.
your last name either. That's
So we
crazy.
know.
Look
You're
at
making
me.
us sound bad, Pierce. Don't say that. Okay,
Oh.
well, today we're going to be talking about school. I mean, that's the whole reason we have this podcast. But first, we're going to start off. What led both of you into coming into this program? Being a chiropractor. That's why we're here. Yeah? Whoever wants to go first.
Take it away.
Okay, well, I got into a car wreck going into my senior year of high school.
Dang.
And the doctor said, like, my T4 was pushed out a little bit, and it felt like it just needed to be popped. And then, so I was just watching chiropractor videos on YouTube day in and day,
Heck yeah.
day and night. So I guess that helped me open the door to this profession. I didn't really know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just researching different chiropractic schools. I haven't really seen like a black chiropractor, so I searched it up on YouTube or Google and found his name was Dr. Marcus McCrae, and he came here, so I got interested in Logan. And plus the chiropractor that I was shadowing at the time, he went to Parker and told me to come to Logan.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan?
wow. So, kind of similar, actually. I was in a car accident right at the end of my senior year of high school. Me and a couple friends were coming back from a movie. We were T-boned by a drunk driver. It was a whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
There was like a settlement and all this stuff, and part of that settlement was coverage for chiropractic care. And that was the first time I'd ever been to a chiropractor. I think maybe I had gone like when I was younger. My mom went. I don't know, but that was the first time I remember ever being a patient. And I thought I was treated really well. I thought it went really well. It was a really hard time. That recovery was really difficult for me. And I was like, whoa, I think I could do this. And so I started looking into it. And then the more I learned, the more I was like, you know what? I think I could be a better chiropractor than the chiropractor that treated me. I don't think my case was like inappropriately managed, but I don't think I was treated like completely the way that I probably should have been. And I was like, well, in that case, I guess I have to go become a chiropractor and do a better job for everyone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then choosing Logan, I was a chiropractic assistant for my internship for my undergrad. And the chiropractor that I worked for,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
really?
Same exact thing, yeah.
Yeah. So the chiropractor that I worked for, he and his partner, they're both Logan grads, and they staffed like 12 or 15 other doctors from all sorts of other schools,
Yeah.
or I guess all different chiropractic schools. And I didn't have the means to travel and tour schools, and so I was like, well, I guess I have to just like make my decision without ever going, which was kind of intimidating. So I told the docs, I'm going to watch you, and whoever I like most, I'm going to go to your school.
Wow.
So I just went and I shadowed each of the docs, and there were some from like Western States, Palmer, Florida, Parker, not the other Palmer, Logan, and all over the place. And so I just shadowed all of them, and eventually I was like, you know what, I've narrowed it down. I'm always consistently impressed with the doctors that came from Logan, so I'm going to go to Logan.
Wow. I guess I've never really thought about how people choose Logan, because like I live here, so it just seemed like the easiest thing for me to come here.
Yeah.
I actually did look at the one Cleveland. I looked at Cleveland a little
yep.
bit, but I never went. And as soon as I stepped foot on campus here, I was like, oh, I'm home. I was technically already home, but I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm really gonna go here.
Might as well.
So
yeah.
it was kind of like I don't know.
So
Yeah, I've never thought
Did
about
y'all
that.
both have like a different profession in mind before coming to chiropractic?
Yeah.
Was it still like in the medical field or some type of thing?
I wanted to do something like in the medical field, but how people like recover like with their bodies, but also sports related.
Correct.
So there was like physical therapy or I had a physician assistant in there too, but why I picked chiropractic was I don't have to be in an office to treat patients. I can bring my tools, which are my hands, anywhere I go and treat them wherever.
Yeah.
Good.
I was actually, because this was at the end of my senior year of high school, right when I was in my car accident and everything kind of changed for me. And so I had already been applied and been accepted and was working with administrations at a liberal arts school to be an art major. So
oh my gosh,
it
what
was like a
big
completely big change.
Yeah.
I had always loved like medicine by the fact like my dad, he went to school to be a PA, never ended up getting there because of family circumstances. But like growing up, my dad would always talk about like medicine and like the body and anatomy, and we would talk about like the weird things. Like our dinner tables were always like, did you know the human body does this thing? And like no one else would have liked to have that conversation, but like my dinner table was that way. And so like that always fascinated me, but for some reason my only two options were be a nurse or be a doctor at a hospital, which obviously isn't the case, but like in my head those were my only two options, and I didn't want to do either of those. And so I kind of said, oh well, I guess I'll just go pursue an art degree, which is the other thing I was good at, which is art. And after kind of being introduced to chiropractic, I was like, oh, there's like a whole other world of healthcare and healing that I just didn't even realize existed. And this is more in line with what I would want to do with my patients. Sure. And that's when I started looking into it more.
So since you are both in very different spots in the program, obviously, Ryan, we'll just start with you. What do you think is something that has changed a lot for you from the start of this program compared to where you're at right now?
That's a good question. When I started the program and I kind of opened the door to chiropractic in my life, I pictured myself being solely a sport chiropractor, being like an athletic trainer on the sideline, also sport team chiropractor.
Yeah, everybody has
and
that.
like that was kind of it, because I had a roommate that was a sideline athletic trainer, and she was the one that would like, oh, there's a head injury, she'd run out, she'd strap him down, like all that. And so I was introduced to like the sport world from her the same time that I was kind of opening the door to chiropractic. And so those two things went hand in hand, and I was like, this is really cool. I love sports. I love athletes. That's what I want to do. As I've gone through the program, I still love that, and I still want to do that. My dream has always been to work with the Olympics, because I'm just like, if you know me, you know how much I love the Olympics. I'm like slightly obsessed. It's unhealthy, but I love it. And so I've always wanted to work with the Olympics. But I've kind of seen that I might not want to do only that. That athletes often get the best of the best already, and there are so many people who don't get even the good, right?
Sure. What a good way to put that.
And so I want to be someone that can get the best to everyone else without closing the door on what it is that I'm already passionate about. So that perspective's kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't have a really good answer for how that's going to look yet. I don't know how am I going to incorporate my passion for sport chiropractic to my passion of helping people who may not have access. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, and I probably will figure it out as I'm going.
Yeah.
So
I know you're in a little bit different situation.
Just walked in.
I'm like right after, well, I guess right after you. So I'm kind of in your shoes still, but we're more focused on school and studying right now.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Sports chiropractic is what I was interested in. Then when I got here, I just wanted to open that door even more and work with, all types of people, not just athletes. And
it's hard right now because I feel like we're in like
yeah.
just classes all day long,
Yeah.
which obviously is what like this whole first year
I mean, when I
is,
first
but-
got here, I didn't know too much about chiropractic, and then learning about it is, real cool as well. It's always in them classes, though.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to school here.
I kind of agree with you, though. Like, the more that I've learned about chiropractic, the more that I'm like, oh, this helps way more than I realized.
Yeah.
There's so much more I can do with this, and I've kind of gotten, like, got bit by the bug where it's like, oh, I want to know how to like fix everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, what do you have? Tell me all about it. I might be able to help, but I don't know.
I don't know. But I'm trying.
Yeah.
But what is, I guess, on that topic? Dang, I forgot it out of my head. There you go. With that being said, you know, you're in the end. You're still in the beginning, I would say. What is like a piece of advice you would give to an incoming student or somebody that's looking into chiropractic?
I just went blank. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I'll jump in because I have one. I know a lot of students who, and I'm guilty of this too. I think I did the same thing when I started school where I said, I'm going to wait to get involved until like after part 1 boards or after try 3, because we all know try 3 is a beast, right? And so we always kind of like wait to get involved until. And I think it's so valuable to start getting involved early. And it might be really intimidating because there is so much and there's such a learning curve of just being a doctorate student, let alone being in the classroom learning what it is that we're learning. But I felt like I had such a much stronger support system going through the harder parts academically because of my extracurricular involvement. And I mean, as I started to become involved extracurricularly, my upper tri friends that I made through that were able to help me academically. And so it kind of, there's a give and a take, but it gives. So
Yeah, because you have been involved in like everything, basically. Yeah, everything.
I tried to pack it in because I waited till after part 1, and then I was like, oh, I got to make up that lost time, and I like packed it all in.
That's a big thing. Shameless plug of our Instagram. But on our Instagram, we had a reel put up, and what was it? Like 8 or 10 different people said get involved. And that was just like the main thing from club day that everybody's like, get involved, because this is so much more than just sitting in the classroom in school. And I mean, on top of it, it's also networking for whenever you leave.
Exactly.
So I
might
think
work
that's
with some of these people or get something from these people. So
for sure. You have anything else to add, either of you?
Yeah, I was gonna agree with getting involved because I got involved with SAPCO when I first got here. Networking and meeting new people will open up doors, and finding that group of friends that cares about your well-being and cares about your academic success and push you to strive for better grades or be a better student and
Or just
continue to work out.
Because nobody successful ever did something just completely on their own. I mean, they probably did to a certain point, but after that, it's just like you need a team at some point. So thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
You.
Really do appreciate you. Get involved once again. It's never going away. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.